CNBC's Dan Murphy joins us now from Istanbul with the latest. And Dan, what is going on with this meeting and what can we expect?
Well, Don, we understand the Vice President Mike Pence will be landing in Turkey very shortly for this high-stakes meeting with Turkey's President Erdogan. He comes at a very challenging time for the US and Turkey relationship, which was already under strain and now showing more signs of distress. Essentially, the United States has two key goals coming into this meeting. The first is to convince President Erdogan to enact an immediate ceasefire in northeastern Syria. And the second is to lay the groundwork for a possible conversation with President Trump next month. However, Erdogan playing hardball in the lead up to this meeting, saying that his trip to the United States is scheduled in pencil, not pen, and that he's upset with the White House for how it's handled the situation in Syria. Listen in.
These discussions, deliberations, talks in Congress, these evaluations made about myself, my family, my minister friends are very disrespectful to the Turkish Republic. It's not knowing our place. Therefore, when faced with a situation like this, of course there's nothing more natural than an evaluation.
As the Vice President lands in Turkey, President Trump at home continuing to face pressure from Democrats and Republicans alike. What we have seen is the President continuing to distance himself and the administration from that decision to pull US troops out of Syria, which some have suggested has essentially resulted in an abandonment of the Kurds, key US allies in the fight against Islamic State, and at the same time allowed for Turkey to begin its incursion into Syria. So clearly a lot of muddy waters to navigate as the Vice President begins this negotiation here in Turkey, Dom.
Dan, Turkey is also facing pushback from other key NATO allies now as well, including Germany. What can you tell us about that situation?
You're exactly right, Dom. So first it was France and the Netherlands. Now we've heard from Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel, who has suggested that she will no longer be selling weapons to Turkey unless it enacts this ceasefire. Clearly what we have seen is more pushback from NATO allies against Turkey, and perhaps this is going to give the Vice President some leverage as he comes into these negotiations later on today. But of course that remains to be seen, and the commentary that we've heard from Erdogan would suggest that he may not be ready to play ball just yet.
All right, Dan Murphy live in Istanbul with the latest there. Thank you very much.